It started on a calm Saturday morning, the kind of spring day when the air smells like cut grass and sunscreen. I was in my garage, tinkering with my bike, when I heard a shriek so dramatic it could have won a community theater award. Out by the edge of my driveway, Mrs. Karen Holt, our HOA president, eternal email warrior, self-appointed guardian of neighborhood standards, lay sprawled across the asphalt, clutching her ankle. "Oh my G***," she cried, loud enough for the entire cul-de-sac to come running. I slipped. "This driveway is dangerous." Within minutes, 2 board members arrived as if summoned by some secret HOA bat signal. Karen moaned, dabbing theatrically at an elbow that wasn't even scratched. Quick pause here. If this already smells like a setup, you're exactly my kind of viewer. Tap subscribe right now because what Karen did next? It gets legally ridiculous. Then she turned her gaze on me with the precision of a courtroom prosecutor. "This," she hissed, "is a violation of HOA safety regulations. You'll be hearing from our attorney." I blinked. I hadn't so much as watered my front garden that morning. The driveway was dry, smooth, clean. Something in her performance felt off, just a little too rehearsed. Still, by afternoon, I received an HOA email accusing me of maintaining unsafe property conditions leading to injury. Attached was a photo, Karen on the pavement, grimacing in her favorite wide-brimmed hat. The subject line? Incident report, resident negligence. That's when the suspicion set in. See, I'd recently refused to back down on a vote against her mandatory mailbox unification project, her pet obsession for controlling every detail of the neighborhood aesthetic. And nothing fuels HOA vengeance like a homeowner who dares to say no. So I did what any wrongfully accused resident with a mild obsession for gadgets would do. I pulled up my doorbell camera footage. And there it was, proof in 1080p clarity. Karen marching purposely up my driveway, pausing, looking around, then dropping herself with the grace of a sack of wet laundry. She even glanced at my porch between gasps, probably checking if anyone was watching. I stared at the video, equal parts furious and impressed at her commitment. She wasn't clumsy. She was calculating. But the beauty of HOA politics is that every petty battle comes with paperwork, and I was about to make hers legendary. Before confronting anyone, I called my brother-in-law, who happened to be a real estate lawyer. After a brief silence, he said, "Save that footage in 3 places. Print a copy of the HOA bylaws, and don't respond until we talk." Oh, Karen had wanted drama. Now she was starring in it. By Tuesday, she'd already emailed another update to every resident claiming serious personal harm and threatening to demand my expulsion from the association community. A few neighbors started whispering when I went to collect mail. The gossip wheel was in full spin, exactly how she liked it. But little did she know, her performance had a hidden audience. Not just me and my lawyer, but anyone who'd ever watched a good revenge documentary. We were about to turn her fake fall into an HOA cautionary tale. I wasn't just going to clear my name. I was going to expose this entire charade, one email at a time. By the time Thursday rolled around, Karen had transformed her alleged accident into a suburban saga. She arrived at the HOA office wearing a neck brace so oversized it looked rented from a Halloween store. Her left ankle was swaddled in layers of elastic bandage, though she somehow managed to strut into the meeting faster than most people walk on 2 good legs. A new email popped into my inbox mid-afternoon. Subject line: Formal notice of violation and HOA damages claim. The document accused me of negligence, citing failure to maintain a safe gradient on personal property. It even named a settlement amount. You could almost hear the villain monologue in her phrasing, equal parts legalese and ego. Fortunately, my brother-in-law had prepped me well. We compiled a neat folder, security footage, timestamps, property inspection photos, and a screenshot of the HOA's own landscaping approval from 6 months ago verifying my driveway was up to code. I also decided to gather a little neighborhood intel. A quick talk with old Mr. Beasley, who spends most mornings on his porch with a cup of coffee and a crossword, revealed more than Karen ever intended. "Oh, I saw her," he said, leaning over his railing. "She stopped, looked right at your camera, and then, boom, right down she went. Nearly spilled my coffee. Witness statement, achieved." Meanwhile, Karen's campaign evolved. Flyers appeared at mailboxes. "Unsafe driveways threaten our community. paired with a blurry still of her injury pose. Her inner PR manager was truly thriving, but every villain overplays their hand. One of the other board members, Dana, reached out quietly. "Between us," she whispered over the phone, "Karen's been pushing this narrative, but a few of us don't buy it. Do you have proof?" Oh, I had proof. I dropped a digital copy of the security footage into a private group chat for the board. No commentary, just the raw file. Within an hour, the silence in that chat could have filled a courtroom. Dana finally replied with 3 words: "This changes everything." And just like that, the plot thickened. The next morning, Karen fired off a furious all-caps email to everyone. "Unauthorized surveillance of HOA officials is a privacy violation," beneath a single, shaky legal citation copied from Google. Still, her panic only confirmed she'd seen the video. My lawyer called again. "All right," he said, calm as ever. "We'll let this marinate. Next step? Formal evidence submission and one polite but pointed letter to the board." We crafted that letter with surgical precision. It included the incident time, a transcript of Karen's statements, the relevant sections of HOA bylaws proving my security cameras were fully compliant, and a friendly note suggesting defamation might be actionable under state law. Meanwhile, I decided to conduct a small sting operation of my own. I installed a secondary camera facing the mailbox, low and discreet. If Karen tried another stunt or tampered with anything, I'd have it documented. Days passed. The neighborhood quieted, unnaturally so, like the air before a thunderstorm. Then, the board announced an emergency meeting to address ongoing community disputes. Karen called it her moment of justice. For me, it was opening night. The stage was set, folding chairs in the clubhouse, tepid lemonade on the snack table, a crowd of curious homeowners. Karen hobbled in, clutching a neck brace like an Oscar trophy. Across from her sat Dana, my silent ally, holding the meeting agenda, and under my arm, an unmarked USB drive. The HOA meeting opened with that tense hum particular to small-town showdowns. You could practically taste the tension between the store-bought cookies and the faint whiff of self-righteousness. Dana, now chairing the session, cleared her throat. "We're here today to discuss the incident reported by our HOA president in relation to Mr. Carter's property." The eyes of 20 neighbors swiveled toward me. Karen sat across the room, a folder stacked high with supposed evidence, photographs, printed emails, even a hand-drawn diagram of my allegedly treacherous driveway slope. Her neck brace had migrated slightly askew, like even it was tired of her act. She began her opening statement with a dramatic sigh. "As you all know, I suffered a severe injury due to flagrant negligence. Our bylaws clearly state." That's when Dana subtly held up her hand. "Before we proceed, we'll review some documentation provided by Mr. Carter." I stood, inserted the USB stick into the laptop connected to the projector, and hit play. The footage spoke louder than any accusation. There was Karen, marching confidently up my immaculate concrete, glancing toward my front porch, and, in what could only be described as interpretive clumsiness, launching herself into an exaggerated tumble. The timestamp flashed in the corner. The audience gasped. Karen froze. Her mouth opened, closed, then reopened in a perfect imitation of a fish realizing it's out of water. Silence filled the room. Finally, Mr. Beasley, from the back row, let out a low whistle. "That's some Academy Award stuff right there." Dana flicked the projector off and turned to Karen. "Would you like to amend your statement?" Karen stammered something about angle distortion and malfunctioning digital timestamps, but her voice cracked halfway through. I almost felt sorry for her, almost. My lawyer, who had joined via speakerphone, chimed in calmly. "The evidence clearly contradicts the claim. Furthermore, we consider the dissemination of false injury reports and potential defamation to be serious matters." A murmur swept through the audience, that contagious mix of shock and satisfaction only suburban gossip can generate. The same neighbors who'd eyed me suspiciously days ago now turned toward Karen with something between awe and disbelief. When the vote came to rescind my violation notice and formally censure Karen for misconduct, every hand went up except hers. Afterward, she gathered her papers with trembling fingers and stumbled toward the door, muttering about lawyer consultations. No one followed her out. The door clicked shut behind her. In the days that followed, the neighborhood transformed. The flyers vanished. The endless HOA memos stopped. and everyone suddenly remembered they had lives beyond mailbox inspections. The association quietly appointed Dana as interim president. As for me, I had a new label around the cul-de-sac, the guy who beat the HOA Karen. Not the title I dreamed of, but one I wore with quiet satisfaction. A week later, a formal apology letter arrived, worded so carefully it could have been drafted by an entire committee of embarrassed board members. Attached was a reimbursement for all associated legal expenses. The best part? Karen's name no longer appeared on the HOA board list. She'd voluntarily resigned. Standing on that same driveway, I rewatched the footage one last time. The sun reflected on the pavement where her fake fall had once made headlines in our small neighborhood gossip mill. I couldn't help but chuckle. The plastic brace, the flyers, the emails, all undone by one motion-activated doorbell camera. Lesson learned. In the age of home surveillance, never stage your drama in front of a lens. Justice doesn't always arrive with flashing lights or court gavels. Sometimes, it comes wrapped in Wi-Fi signal and high-definition clarity.